We haven't seen a Fiddlesticks on this channel in a while, and he hasn't been on the best junglers in a while. Is he any good? Can you 1v9 with him at the end of Season 14? These are deep questions and difficult questions to ask because, you know, Fiddle dominated the meta for so long upon his rework, really, up until this particular season. And this year, we haven't spoken about him much. You know, the clears have changed, the pets have changed, the kite dragging really did affect him at the beginning of the season last year. So, also, the removal of mythics has been a pretty big thing because Rocket Belt Mythic was pretty good. Rocket Belt non-mythic is less good. So, let's see what we can do. Obviously, everybody knows Fiddle is a game changer and game turner when it comes to that team fight. Little mishap here on this clear, but that's fine. People are still trying to optimize the red side. Typically in the past, actually, there would be this red side optimization like this one, but you could only do it on this side of the map. You couldn't do it on this one. So, remember with Fiddle, there are pros and cons to picking him. You could play literally anything else AP and probably have an easier time, but he does do interesting things. And the most important thing about Fiddle, as we go for this mid lane gank, Syndra's shoving in his head as expected. Virkayu starting red side coming down most likely. We're just going to move up here. There's the slow from the Zed. We'll get the fear off. We have the silence, so she can't move. We'll sucky. She will flash, but it don't matter. Oh, okay. I see it. The electrocute proc there, huge in that damage. I like it. Now, here's a couple things about Fiddle. Back in 2021, we had a Predator meta. Well, 2022 as well, I believe. And he liked Predator, right? The idea was do a quadrant sprint, you know, do a quadrant base by boots, and then go sprint and do some ganks. Obviously, that rune is long since dead. And if you don't know what the rune is because you're a newer player, don't worry about it. Just make you go fast. It's gone. And here's the thing about Fiddlesticks. When that went away, right, because he was pretty good at that meta, when that went away, we thought a lot more deeply about which rune do we go, Harvest, Electrocute, or First Strike. First Strike became the de facto way to go, but obviously that since has also been nerfed. So a lot of Fiddles now are kind of debating, you know, do you even bother with First Strike at this stage? Do we try and do some weird stuff like Harvests and Electrocutes and Comets? I have seen it. Unfortunately, I have seen it. But Electrocute for me is always a baseline thing I like. I know some Fiddle players don't like that. Historically, I'm always a bit of an Electrocute savant, I was going to say. Not what I meant. Fan. Lifetime fan. Big fan. Because the guaranteed damage on ganks, like right there, is what allowed the Syndra to die. That Syndra only died because he had Electrocute. That's the only reason she died. And he made that action. And now, on the other side of the coin, we have here the Fiddlesticks, the Virkayu, doing random things. I called him Fiddle because he was standing still like an effigy. What is your strategy, sir? He doesn't have one. And I love in this meta so much. When they start Raptors, they waste time. We're going opposite to them, and we're able to do this. This is just clutch gameplay. We know Virkayu's coming. We better be very careful here. He will be coming out of base with the Nito. Oh, why would you go that way, Fiddle? Or we can dodge it. I think we might die, though. Let's see. And we've done a flash. Aaron's going to show up. There's a little bit of a flee. We get stunned anyway. We don't have itemization. There's a fear. Aatrox is going to hit that W. Maybe we survive? No. So I love the overarching theme, though, from this playstyle. Much like the Wukong and the Nidalee that we've seen end of season, you get to this point where you gotta head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else. All of this available through a premium jungle Discord, which is highly active, a huge community that help each other climb using my jungle program and courses. As we have seen by everybody hitting their peak rank goals in Split 1 and Split 2 of Season 14 as fast as possible. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. It's better to be a little bit more active in lanes, right? Less than farming AFK, just because people are on edge. People are tiltable. People are in a rush to win. Play off of the psychology of the end of the season. So here, we do this a little slow, but we get there. We use our kit perfectly with the Zed. We get the Electrocute perfectly. We fall back to the top side quadrant. We've seen the Virkayu down here. Now, you might think, let me do the wolves first, right? All that kind of stuff. Like, there's no reason at this particular stage to think about the wolves, right? They're level 1, but it's probably the least valuable camp for my rotation, so we don't really care about that. What we want to do is steal his tier 2 Raptors here, steal his tier 2 Krugs here, the second spawn, right? And then bounce. Now, based upon the Virkayu's timing and his sort of like horrific pathing, the Fiddle should have known this and run away. So when I do this in Zyra and I do exactly this strategy on Zyra, I'll snack this and then just run down this way right now. Obviously, he can't use plants over the wall, but, you know, the concept was the same, and he would have gotten out, honestly. So, yeah, Zed gets a little bit of a rotation there, but Viega's now 2-0-1, which is a bit suboptimal. How do we play around it? Now, as a Fiddlesticks, you know you need to prioritize at level 6. The reason why we like this kind of playstyle is because now the Grub has spawned, but we have died. We are compromised. So we have lost a lot of experience here on this playstyle. Now, if you don't have this gank mid lane, for example, and you just do the red side quadrant, blue side, scuttle, counter jungle, maybe you get a gank off here, and you base, and now you do this again, you will be primed for a grubby on this right now to give you level 6. One grub will give you 6. So that's all you're really looking to do if you can get that going. Now, worst case, 2 grubbies. Worst case, 3 grubbies. Whole idea, though, is to full clear, counter jungle, take some scuttle crabs, get a gank off, take 2 or 3 more camps, and then take the first grub, get level 6, right? The variance there is because games can change, but the baseline is that point. So now we do get 6 from the grubs. We know Viega's pathing down and he lost his camps, so he will be forcing constraint to be down here. Look at the delay on his 6 here. He's done the dragon, so this will give him 6 on this scuttle crab right now. Jan is trying to cut him off a little bit. There it is. Syndra's moving over. We know this is gone. Oops. Does anyone else hate that mechanic? It's just a gimmick. Like, just let me snack you, man. Like, why are you resetting the health? Anyway, I know why, but I don't like it. We're allowed to do that. So, Viega, again, now he's going to be forced to come to the top side, but he knows straight up that he cannot lose more camps here. My Syndras don't do that. They just let my Raptors die. Anyway, the idea is good, right? Especially if Viega did invest time into a gank here. Whoa, that whole quadrant. And maybe he goes for this, but then you just base, boom, right? And you cut him off. Meantime, Fiddle's like, yo, I saw you burn your flash, so can I do a bit of a fear, sucky, and maybe we can kill? 1 more auto attack, Jace, 2 more auto attacks, Jace, Coach, by the way, there we go. Viega shows up here, we do have ult available, so does he risk it for the biscuit? Not since he tried to risk the entire planet for his dead wife who didn't even want him. Great writing, by the way. And now we know he's going to go back into this side, and so we can decide, do we want to kind of bait out the Aatrox here, and maybe bait out the Viego? There's the ult from the center, actually, that goes through to protect here. And, yeah, now we're just going to base it, looks like. So that's a smarter play. Off we go. We'll talk a little bit about the builds, but I don't want to talk too much about it because, you know, much like back in the day when we had all of this variation, I made a video about Hex Flash Luden's Fiddle. And this was during peak Rocket Belt first strike days, right? And all of a sudden you're saying, well, you know, secondary, we're going to go for the Hex Flash instead of like these kinds of typical runes, right? The Transcendence of Water Walking, things like this, which I'm not really a fan of anyway. But the mobility granted with the map scaling, the ability to use your flash more aggressively for these kinds of plays, beautiful. And of course, Luden's at the time with the Mythic Era had that movement speed proc. So you're like running around like this, really powerful actually. So those kinds of things were interesting. Nowadays, it's often a discussion like, do you like Leandries? Do you still like Rocket Belt? Do you like to go other things? Do you like Malignants? And I would never rush Malignants whatsoever, but these are the questions, right? There's a lot of feel related to it. So let's see what he chooses to go here, and let's see what it looks like, right? So maybe we can draw some of our own conclusions, go into these games with an open mind, and obviously Faded Ashes for the farming is, you know, as open as we want to get on the first rotation. Camping the top side. Juicy, nice R, using the Fog of War as well as the angle of approach. Well, Fiddlesticks is a Fog of War champion. Meantime, Viega is now 2-0-2, 75 CS, down 5 CS. We have action down here. Fiddle has to know that there's something going to happen. I think bottom lane has to feel something's going to happen. I think we know that Viega's gonna... What a good champion. What a great champion. Like, you know, what champions can do what he did, just like everyone else is dead there except for Viega. But regardless, there we go. So, bottom lane gank there. And again, the nice thing about having these timers on the top quadrant is you can just take them whenever the map presents them to you. And when you have good sequencing bottom to top here and you're controlling this quadrant too, then you're not too worried about losing it, right? That's the whole point of 3 quadrant control, which is what this is. 1, 2, 3. All under the Fiddle's control. And that's when you slingshot nicely. Because now, again, we have the center, We have the Viego. He's going back to base. All of this is going to be gone. Fiddle's got 39 on ult, so we don't want to do too much here with 1800 in pocket without our ultimate. So he's going to stick it out, but we know that the Viego's going to, in theory, show up. There he is. So what we're trying to do here, 99%, is to quickly get one grub and get out. Get the 4, get the mites and bounce. You look at the blue side map here, Jason's only just coming up. Like, he's really trying to rinse it. He's really trying to rinse it. Oh! No smite. If you're kind of jungling there, it's better to save your smite for this moment. Smite it and get out. But the play was good. Again, we're staying out not to fight at an item disadvantage. We're staying out not to fist the Viego when he's got Kraken. We're just staying out. Ult is now available if we wanted to use it, but it is a 4v1. Can he do it yet? No, I don't think so. Let's just go back into the mid lane. So, the losing of the grubs there is regrettable. But here's the thing. I can see what he's thinking about now. Let's unpackage this. He counter jungles this. We need to save our smite for that singular grub because we know that the Viego's gank bottom lane here. He's going to reset, come back here. He doesn't want to give us another mite, right? Another grub. So he shows up here. You can then fall back down here. Yeah, you're slower on the grubs, right? Because you don't have the smite for the camps, but you will be able to smite this and yeet. And then you've got 4 you can match. You don't have to just walk, base, and now, do I worry about the Viego counter jungling my top side? And maybe I do something about that? Or do I just say, you have my top side, buddy boy. I'm going to go and dive this with my ult, take some of this and fall back to the dragon. Which is, I prefer that play. This is the real safety net quadrant. Like, if all of this is unavailable for whatever reason, we lose this as well, we got this to fall back to, right? That's the whole thing about the strategy. So the Fiddle here was thinking a little bit about that. You can see. He's looking at the map. We have here a decent, let's say advantage for Caitlyn. 600 gold for Caitlyn, the advantage. It's nice. But I don't want to invest my ult here. The dragon fight and all of this down here. We got 2,000 in pocket. I know he's waiting for some gold, but our wolves are available if he wanted to do that. It's quicker just to go and do his wolves. Like now, you see he's looking for this. So this delay was way too late. Obviously, there's a little async with the grump and the wolves. He really wants to buy for the next ult, but I feel like he could have done the worst case. You could have done the wolves, raptors, krugs like ASAP. Base and come straight back down here if you were so concerned about that. He wanted the Leandries, I know. Because oftentimes you want that 2100 marker just to get it. Right? So now, Viego has a bit of temper prior here underneath. Zed is just staying mid lane, smacking these babies up with the 3 grubs, trying to get all those plates for himself. Caitlyn has 4 plates too. We are winning that advantage. Here now, Viego falls back a little bit. Yeah, the Fiddle's taking himself out of the running just a little bit now. Not fully in control now of the map, but that's fine. There's Zeri mid lane. We know we're most likely going to lose this dragon unless we can force a fight here with our fully completed item. We have everyone coming back to the map. So we need to see if we can do something. Zed is prio. The Syndra's gone. That's a big thing. Syndra, no TP and gone. Fiddle over the wall. Boom! With a flash. Oh! And the smite and the snack and the sucky. Beautiful. That's the kind of surprise we want. That's why Surprise Party Fiddlesticks is one of the best thematic skins. And so we look at that again for posterity. There we go. Beautiful. Boom. Straight. Like the Janna Q there, the knocker from Janna was just ever so spicy as well. Great teamwork, honestly. But those are not my favorite plays to have to be, like, I don't want to have to make those plays, but they're the favorite ones to make yourself, right? When you make those hype, multiple kills, steal, thumbs up, counter jungling, turrets are taken, templates in our favor. Beautiful. Gold at this point is 6.4. Viego's at 6.4 as well, just about 50 gold. Yeah, 120 gold behind. So it's a close game from a jungle perspective, but the Fiddlesticks' control of the top quadrant has been good. I just feel like once you give up this grub, if you're like, dragon's up soon, but I need Leandries, then just yeet, quickly base, like no hesitation, waiting for a potential kill and scanning. We get that. And again, worst case, if he has to give up the grubs here and there's no camps, but raptors and krugs are, just cut through, snack, base, buy, and then go do business, right? And it's better than standing still. I know what he was looking for, but it's not where you want to use your ultimate, right? If you had 2,100 gold in pocket and he was going to ult at Aatrox here when it came off, it's a waste. It's a waste of your ultimate. So a relatively long cooldown. Remember that, right? So, 103 base rank now. It goes down to 8158, which is great, but sorry, it was going 1 minute 40 seconds, 1 minute 30 seconds is a long time. So why waste that when you have Leandries in the pocket? You can use it on the dragon, which is exactly what he did, and you saw why. Huge. This item is good. Now, obviously, we do like Zhonya's and Banshee's Veils and Void Staffs, and these kinds of things always do super well in the Fiddlesticks. You don't have to overthink it if you don't want to. Not a huge fan of the Rocket Bell personally. Do understand the allure of things like Malignance, but, you know, I am a Leandries enjoyer. I know it's not always the best item. I get that for people, but a lot of OTPs I've seen, typically, I don't say they're dogmatic, but they do have their ways, right? Because it's like Udyr. You might play AD Udyr, but there could be 3 different OTP builds that you run into. Right, there's a Fear, there's a Silence, Sucky force a flash out, there's a tick 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 boom, but we don't get it. Ult is available, Herald is available, we see the crash mid lane, Zed has gone deep here, which is perfect, and that's an effigy. Here's the Fiddlesticks that we need to see. Take the turret, people going mid lane, Zeri going bot lane, going back to base, not forcing it here unnecessarily, letting the map develop just a little bit. And now obviously we are going into the Shadow Flame, which I love as well. Love a good Leandry Shadow Flame combination into Void. Also enjoy the, no, like that's pretty good. I like that on a lot of mages, like this Zyra too. Leandry Shadow Flame into Void gives you a lot of base penetration and a lot of damage when you can see them and do quite a lot over time. Because ultimate, for example, here at this stage is already 1912 over 5 seconds. So with Leandries and Shadow Flame and Void stuff, that do go places. Q, for example, at this point, obviously, get into it in a second, but you can see there, current health magic damage. Current health magic damage. And W here has a missing health magic damage component. So you'd think that this guy's getting all up and dead, then he's going to heal, plus do 22% missing magic damage against the target. So you get chunked and killed based upon damage. He's already hit you with current HP damage, and now he's going to heal from that damage as well. All right, Senna's going back to base. We have a bit of a quiet moment waiting for the next objective fight to take hold. That's fine. That's a normal Fiddlesticks thing. And, you know, while we do that, again, we can talk a little bit about itemization, but I don't like the Malignance Rush. I believe Leandries has like a 3 to 4% buffer over that, and Rocket Belt is not far behind. It is good, I just don't like the feel, right? Like, I don't enjoy it as much as a Leandries base composition in terms of itemization goes, whatever the sentence was, watching the top lane here. So once we get that pick, we can go ahead and do the Herald, and off we go. That should be another free objective, but there it is, there it is, there it is. There it's not. That was a wild few seconds. I honestly thought we were going to pull the trigger there. But this is a little bit about what Fiddle Life can be like. You don't have the ability just to rush at people like all the other meta champions. Gotta wait for that Fog of War ult gap. Oh, like this one. There's the Senna, a little bit misplaced, but it won't matter, she dies. Look, you're like an assassin. With Electrocute, you are an assassin. Get the kill, annihilate the target. I know people have liked things where it's like, wow, you know, I have an AoE spell and I can keep going in fights. Fiddlesticks, at the end of the day, is a raw, unbridled assassin a lot of the time, especially with this kind of build, right? Especially with Leandries, Shadowflame, Void, Zhonya's. You're looking to kill someone. Anything else, technically bonus. Now, obviously, you want to kill more people, but it allows you to primarily focus on one single target. And look at this mega damage that's going on here. No one's touching us. We're doing mega HP damage. We're healing for it. There you go. Sucky, 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 boom! And obviously, there's a Zed of the Wall Silence on. Beautiful, like this, an untouched Fiddlesticks in the back line. Leandries is now down 853, it's not a huge amount, but the HP is important on that one. Right, I do prefer the Dragon, also the Herald is gone, so I don't really have a choice anymore. Let's go take it. Ult is up again. See, cooldown is now 81 seconds. Let's see what we can do. Wait for your team to set up, try and get vision control. That Scuttle's really good for vision control in these moments. But as I said, you are an assassin, so here we go. There it is. We're able to... Oh, there's a silence into the flash. Beautifully done. And you didn't need the electrocute for the second target. They both just got rinsed and killed. Now Zed's doing Zed things, and Fiddlesticks will have an assist on that one. So people tell me, but we don't like this. We want Malignance and Rocket Belts. Why? Take electrocute, eviscerate souls, bounce them. That's it. That's simple. Now, here on my Zyra builds, when I'm building like this, and again, I do build exactly like this with the Electric Cube plus the Leandrius and Shadowflame. In a game where I need Seekers and Zhonya's, I'll get it. If I can get away with being greedy, I'll be greedy. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if I need the Zhonya's, I do rush that third here, especially if I'm doing a lot of damage. You got the penetration anyway from this. And the critical strike that you see there, right, is huge for things like Viego. Because Viegos will pick up souls and heal. Viegos will ult out and become unstoppable. You want to minimize as much as possible their ability to escape close deaths. And with Fiddlesticks, you've got the Shadowflame option. With Mages, you've got the Shadowflame option. It does give you a little bit of extra crit at the end, which is huge in those moments. It's a big tool that I use a lot against things like Viegos. You know, whereas in some games, you know, it's like, okay, well, I can't afford the Shadowflame in this game. I might as well get Zhonya's and Banshees and things like this because I need to live in order to play. Then that's fine. But in these kinds of games, rushing those items against this can seem logical, but the Shadowflame will do a lot for you, especially when you have a lead. When 914, ult is up, Viego's going on the Zed, and we'll just make sure that we guarantee the kill. Good night, sweet prince! 985 damage on the Electric Cube, by the way, just because most people are like, but we don't like this rune. It's fine. Don't like the rune, don't like the rune. Just telling you, I like this tech. This tech is my favorite tech. I enjoy it. And hopefully you can enjoy it too. Does give you a lot of carry potential, especially if you can just remove one person all the time. Be like an assassin, because with the Zed with you, two people are almost always dead. And so that's permanent numbers advantage for you guys that you can then use for objectives and sequencing and control. 23 CS lead now. We're going to do full clear down, looking at the map. Jace's base. Zed is base. Bot lane, we're base and disrupted, so we do a full clear while we can. And now when our team is back on the map, we join back on the map again. Hit the plant to see if I am seen and position ourselves for another boom. Let's see if we get one. No boom. They saw us, so unlucky. But again, patience with Fiddle. Patience, patience, patience. Don't force it. Don't go in too willy-nilly. Wait for the spells. Do the vision clears. Look at this. This is really good. All right. Now he moves up just to take the turret away. Viego's pushing on the top side because they got impatient. This should be a free kill. He decides to shadow the Zed here. This turret's going to die basically, so we can ult this one. Make sure we get that kill. Zone, 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 zone. There it is. A lot more damage from the Zed there than us, but, you know. We'll take it. Take this one. Like the Grump. Huge, right? So here, normally you would think about, look, let me shadow up just because Baron, but we hit this. We see this. We see he's dead. We collapse on this. We force a rotation. Now our team gets to do this. A bit more risk involved for sure if it's warded and such, but if they don't need you, that's always good. I like that. I like that. So I'm happy that the team were able to make that decision. However, if the enemy jungler is alive, please make your way over there so you have the smite. Right. Zhonya's built into another needlessly large rod. Now, you could get a little frisky and do yourself some death cap stuff, death cap noises. You could be intelligent and just do the Banshee's Veil, or you could go for the Void if you feel like you need a little bit more damage. In this particular game, I don't think we need more damage. Ult is available here. Syndra has her flash, but if we can get that fleeing silence... she died. She died. But no, Electrocute sucks, right? For sure. 1148 damage. The guaranteed fail... Look, she... At this point, I'll acknowledge she would have died no matter what rune you had, even if you're a Predator. It's not the point. It allowed us to get here, it allows us to keep going, and we enjoy those things. Jace is pushing top lane. Why are we following the Janna? Auto-attack the turret. See, even the Fiddle here does turret damage. Not a lot. Basically like throwing a wet paper towel at a wall and saying, look, knocking down the house. But it still does something. Well, not the paper towel. You have to have a pretty strong arm, but yeah. At least it shows up in the post-game metrics, I guess. Person did hit turrets. Person did hit the wall of the house, you know. Wasn't effective, but you did it. Making jokes. Of course, it does do something. Always hit the turrets as much as possible. And now we got two inhibs down, rotate to the top side there, and forcing the flash out. Ult is up in 15 to 16 seconds. That's where things like the Malignance does help you. But as you've seen from this game, but good positioning, better decisions. You're fine. I love Ultimate Hunter though. Without a doubt, Ultimate Hunter is a go-to for me. Always much prefer that one. Don't actually have 4 stacks here, that's what I was checking it. Didn't check if we had 5 stacks, we only have 4 stacks, but there it is. Under the turrets, and obviously you have the Zhonya's. There you go. Beautiful game! 12-1-7, excellent fiddle build. Good pathing, a little bit greedy early on, but this is the way, my friends. You can climb like this. Go get those goals.